Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Douhans Taste Challenge. Got a late start, partly my fault, and also for some very frustrating technical reasons. But anyway, tech difficulties. We have Douhans blended Irish whiskey, blended. Let's see, distilled, aged, blended, and bottled in the Irish Republic, imported by Rebel Spirits. Green bottle protecting it from the light. The competitor, the newest Bushmills from 2017, Bushmills Red Bush Irish whiskey, aged 3 years, produced in Northern Ireland, British-controlled Northern Ireland. The distillery is next to the Bush River. Bushmills, there were grain mills next to the Bush River. Okay, they say 1608. That's the oldest date known where distilling was authorized to be done at that site. 1784 is when Bushmills whiskey got started, and the Red Bush is 2017. And here's what it says on the website. Red Bush is aged in first fill bourbon barrels for an intense bourbon finish, combined with the signature smoothness of triple distilled Irish whiskey. Well-rounded, versatile, complex. Best served chilled and neat. How else would you kick off the night? Well, this is neat, but it's not chilled. It's room temperature. But it's kind of a chilly day, so it is sort of chilled, I guess. It's much colder than you would expect in southeastern Louisiana in the latter part of April, to tell you the truth. It's like 52 degrees outside. Usually here it'd be, at this time of the year, it might be 66, 68 at night. So that's global warming for you, it keeps getting colder. So they say, well, it's not what you think it is. It's what we say it is. Okay. I understand how that works. I mean, I've been contending with that crowd since about 1980. Talking about the crowd, this is my left hand, talking about that crowd. All right, anyway. The Douhans is lighter, got a slight greenish tint to it, and the Red Bush is just gold and Northern Irish whiskey. And there's your greenish, but it's mostly straw. Okay, Douhans, no age statement, but it has to be at least 3 years old, so it's probably a minimum. But I don't know that. It could be older than 3. I know the Bushmills Red is aged 3 years. It says it right there on the label. It says aged for a minimum of 3 years. What makes it different from regular Bushmills original, the white label? Well, because they say it's aged in first fill bourbon barrels. That means the first time they used the bourbon barrel is for this whiskey to be aged. So the barrel is used. It's an old bourbon barrel. But the first time they fill it for reuse is with Bushmills, okay? Does it make a big difference? I guess it makes a small difference. Normally you'll find it for about $24 a bottle, about $24 a bottle at Walmart, maybe 23 at Total Wine and More. But we got it for the incredibly low price of $9.99 at Savannah Discount. That is not a lie. That is a true story. My friend David went back and bought some more just a week and a half ago. I said, boy, you love that Red Bush. He said, I don't really love it. I just like the price, $9.99. He sure doesn't hate it. Okay. That has a little bourbon nose to it. What do you mean? I'm talking to myself. What do you mean? Slight charred oak, a little corn. So bourbon has that heavy corn, charred oak thing. So it just tweaks it a little bit. You understand? It's not like, oh yeah, I'm drinking this Irish whiskey. It tastes like bourbon. No. You're tasting it and it has a slight bourbon quality to it. You say, well, that's just a gimmick. Yes, it is. So that they can sell a different product. Just like the Black Bush aged in Oloroso sherry barrels. Aging in sherry barrels. That's all gimmicks. I mean, but I don't care if it tastes good. It's like Jack Daniels. They take it, they drip it through charcoal, then they as they call it, charcoal mellow it. Most people would call it charcoal filtering. They do it twice, like taking a tea bag and dipping it twice, making tea with a used tea bag, makes it watered down and washed out. You say, well, that's not an improvement, but to some people that is. So they sell it as Gentleman Jack for an elevated price. So it is a gimmick. But people pay extra for Gentleman Jack when they're actually getting less flavor, less body, less everything, same alcohol. So I find that comical. But I don't find it bad. If that's what you want to do, do it. Now this one is just light grain whiskey, like grain corn, and light white bread crust. So white bread dough. So I think the one in my right hand is the Douhans, and I think this one is the Red Bush, but I'm not quite sure, and I'm not going to look because that tint, the differentiation in tint will give it away. So let's go with the taste. I hate to go walking in that cold, but I'm going to do it. The sun is coming out here at dawn. It's clear as a bell outside, but too cold for April, I say. Old man winter came at us like an affliction, but he's leaving us like an addiction. Old man winter doesn't want to go away. He hasn't heard about global warming. He just say, oh, phooey on that. I'm hanging around. I don't care what these politicians, I mean these scientists, I mean these politicians, I mean these scientists, I mean these politicians, I mean these scientists, I mean these politicians say. All right. This tastes kind of regular. You get a little white bread crust. True story. You say, oh, you say that around beers. I've described many beers as having white bread crust. True story. I'm going to call it as I see it, not as people expect me to say it. I have to be honest. Like I heard a music group say one time, be true to yourself and you will never fall. So now, maybe this is the Red Bush because it's got a little corn syrup taste, like, yeah, like Cairo. Now, Cairo is interesting because it uses corn syrup and they got vanilla extract added. And what do people say about bourbon? It tastes like corn, tastes like vanilla, tastes like corn, tastes like vanilla. Price. Douhans, $19.96 a bottle at Walmart. Who else sells it? I don't know. Bushmills, $24. Let's say it's $23.95 at Walmart. Or as some people say, Walmart. Girl, I'm going to go to Walmart and buy a new cell foam. Cell foam. I've never purchased cell phone at Walmart, but I'm a sheltered person and I don't get out like I ought to. Now, really, is the Red Bush really $4 better than the Douhans? Or in my case, is the Red Bush really better? Really a negative $10 better than the Douhans? Because like I said, I got it for $10, $9.99, $10 minus a penny. And if you want to get techno, I could go back to Savannah Discount and get another bottle for $9.99. Well, let's not even bring that into play. Let's not even bring that into play, because you know why? Most people watching this, practically everyone watching this, cannot get Bushmills for $9.99 at Discount Depot. I mean, at Savannah Discount. So we're going to go with the regular price of $23. Now, I noticed that Walmart has Tullamore DEW. I got a great deal on that. They got, but they got all kind of Irish whiskey. I can't remember all of them. Of course, Jameson's and everything. But Jameson, But I can't remember them all. It's a pretty big selection, I have to say. Now this has a little bite to it, a little grain whiskey bite to it. But many of these Irish whiskeys do so, even though they triple distilled. Man, this Douhans has been a real irritation, let me tell you, because it doesn't stand out. It's not better than any of the others, that's for sure. However, it doesn't really underperform. You know what I mean? I'm saying against other Irish whiskeys, it does fine. And in fact, I couldn't even tell it apart from the Black Bush. And the Black Bush, it is $11 more expensive. Now, it's $11 more, and I couldn't tell it apart from the Douhans. So hey, I'm gonna let you pay the extra $11 if I can't tell them apart in a blind taste test. So it's very frustrating in that respect. You can't differentiate it. Same here. I mean, I'm thinking, well, maybe it's got a vanilla note, or maybe it's got a charred oak note, or maybe it's got a slight bourbon note, or maybe this, or maybe that, but maybe it doesn't at all. And I'm a little perplexed. Dark Lotus says, sup, Ron? Oh, just doing a whiskey taste challenge. Beercraft Tastic says, the sea rats don't call it global warming anymore because that obviously doesn't exist. Right. I remember around 1996, it was like overnight, every major establishment media outlet changed from global warming to global climate change. And I thought that was suspicious. I said, why? Whenever the date was, May 25th, probably May 1st, right? But May 25th, 1996, immediately global warming exited the lexicon and we were introduced to global climate change. I said, well, that could mean anything. Global climate change, what does it mean? And they told me, you don't understand science. It means many things to many people, especially what we want it to mean. To me, it means like a hammer imposed over a sickle. But what do I know for science? Okay. And even if I did, it wouldn't even matter because of the other thing. Oh, well, well, I really don't know, but I think the Douhans has a little more breadiness. Does it have a higher percentage of single malt whiskey? I doubt that. Does it have a higher grade, higher quality of single malt whiskey? I seriously doubt that. All I know for sure right now is I can't tell them apart to any sufficient degree, really. But I'm gonna say this is the Douhans. If I get it right, oh wow, I'm so great. Oh, what a wonderful taste challenger I am. I'm the best. I'm the best. But the reality is not all of that glittering hype, all that hyperbole. The reality is I just made a decent guess and I kind of knew it, but without any kind of confidence. Okay, so I think it's the D, and it is. Okay, so there was some kind of little pinprick of light that tipped me off. You say it was your third eye. It was your second sight because you studied to be a 39th degree Freemason of the New Orleans Rite, not the York Rite or the Scottish Rite, but the New Orleans Rite. Yes, that's true. And I do see things that other people can't see. I'm like the Incredible Hulk. You know, he could see Doctor Strange in his astral state. No one else could. So the Hulk would be talking and saying, Hulk doesn't understand what Strange says, and people are like, who are you talking to? And he's like, well, he's right there, Doctor Strange. And so nobody understood why the Incredible Hulk could see Doctor Strange in his astral state. but he could. And also, there was another fact that the angrier he got, the stronger he got. So he did have a reserve power that no one knew where that was coming from. Like he had regular Incredible Hulk strength, you know, but then it could explode into much more strength, which was unexplainable, which happened many times. And also, thirdly, we know that Godzilla in Toho Productions had reserve strength that could flash and appear suddenly. We don't, if you remember in the movie Mecha Godzilla from 1974, Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla, or Godzilla versus the Cosmic Monster. Remember, they were battling, and then suddenly he flashed from the inside. Remember, his insides flashed like an internal fusion, or like I say, a nuclear fusion. So it was strange, and then he was unstoppable. But anyway, back to this. I was going to carry Spider on paper towel outside, but it dropped off, and I lost it, and then I saw it and killed it. Okay. All right. Julie says, good morning, Ron. Cheers. Peace. Drinking whiskey. I didn't, macros. I didn't sleep, but smoked and drank one of those left hands. Oh, you're talking about like a, no, you mean you drink a left hand nitro stout, or the Wake Up Dead nitro ale. Yeah, I always catch these things. And I like that. Wake up, dead, wake up. Okay, so as I was ranting and raving and doing all my implied and dog whistle coded speech, you know, but I can't help that. That's just the way I is. But you don't hear me. But while I was doing that little those antics, I was thinking, you know, and I was kind of pinning it down, and that bread dough thing kind of keyed me in on the Douhans. So I would say, yes, I got it right. It could have been dumb luck, but yet if you watch the video, you know it wasn't exactly dumb luck, because I was describing the bread dough thing. And I did say during this taste challenge that I did think that the Douhans probably had more of a bread dough presentation. And I did say this had some vanilla extract and even reminded me of the K-Rose syrup, which is in no way related to bourbon, but it has some commonalities, being the vanilla flavor and the heavy corn. So, because it's corn syrup. So I would say, yes, I got it right, but I wouldn't brag on that. You understand? I'm not going to brag on that. So when I do the antics, which are usually not really antics, but they're under the guise of antics, but you understand. But sometimes while I'm doing that, I'll be thinking, you know how sometimes you're thinking of things, but yet you're thinking of nothing at all. And then somebody might come in the room and say, you know, what's wrong? What's the matter? You're on drugs. Mike, you're on drugs. You're on drugs. And you're like, Mom, no, I'm not on drugs. Just give me a Pepsi. I just want a Pepsi. But then they keep, and you say, but she wouldn't bring it to me, and all I wanted was a Pepsi. And then you go crazy, and you just go crazy. But anyway, that being said, as a comic, in all seriousness, I think they're both very good. And actually, I would not pay the extra $4 for the Bushmills. As much as I like the Bushmills, I'll just go with the Douhans. So there's your succinct, short story long answer. And but of course, I have that special connection to Savannah Discount. The connection being I can get there in less than an hour, and I can get this bottle for $9.99. So there you go. All right. Now, let me say this to you. Coming up later today, God willing, and I expect that I'll be able to do it, but coming up later today, we got Scotch. So now Irish whiskey is going to be put to bed for a while. And we got splendid Scotch whiskey. And I've got Dewar's White Label since 1899, but I know they changed the ABV level. They'll claim they didn't change the recipe. They might not have changed the mash bill, but how come it used to be 86.6% alcohol and 8-year age, and now it's no age statement and it's 80 proof. 80, I said 80.86%. I meant 86.6 proof. So something changed. Whiskeys change. People change. So something changed, you know. But whatever, you know, the label's a white label, but I'm not going to get vexed over that. But I think the Dewar's White Label is a little better than I think it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's probably better than I'm evaluating it. And I started thinking that as I was drinking on it after doing a review solo. So I'm going to bring Dewar's in, White Label, against everybody else. All the other blended Scotch whiskeys I have is going to be Dewar's versus everybody in a nice tournament. When we finish with Dewar's, which is going to take a while because I got a lot of blended Scotch whiskey, let me tell you right now. But when we finish with Dewar's, then I'm going to do single malt. And I got one that the Whiskey Scout gave me. I don't know anything about it except that it's a single malt and it's from Scotland. So, I mean, that's literally what I don't even know the alcohol level. I know it's single malt and it's from Scotland. That's all I know at this point, but I know it's a great gift and I'm going to bring that in and do the single malt scotches, which would be very exciting. I don't have too many of those, but I'm building the stash. I'm building it. And then after that, we're going to go into a brandy. And I have a very interesting brandy that I don't think has been addressed very much on YouTube or the internet. I'm going to look at the videos, but there aren't many. It's called Ciroc French brandy. Now, when you say Ciroc, you thinking of what? You say, I know, gold teethus and chains and people fronting and stunting. Well, I mean, no, I meant to say you thinking of vodka, you know. So, but this is the less well-known Ciroc. It is the French brandy. Then we got rum. I have a very exciting rum coming up. I can't wait to try it. It's going to just set the world on fire. It's going to shock the world, really. Shock you, shock everybody. I think people would just be stunned. And then I've got a white rum that's going to not shock the world, but it's going to excite the world for sure, and people are going to love it. And then I have even more shocking news. I got tequila coming up. Oh, yes. Montezuma tequila. It's not going to, I hope it doesn't give me Montezuma's revenge, but it's going to be Montezuma white, then Montezuma gold, and I'm going to taste challenge the Montezumas against the other tequilas, and it's going to be very good, and I can't wait. I've been thinking about it off and on for weeks. Then we got mezcal. Oh, for jizzle. We got mezcal. Oh, Gia, mezcal. And I've got two of those, and we're going to go one to one. And then we're going to pivot back into rye whiskey, and I have an exciting rye whiskey. So it's so much excitement, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what to do about it. Thanks for watching this video production. How you doing? Hey, how you doing?